Okay, 8th grade scholars, for the first part of your assignment today, you are solving two-step equations. So make sure when you're solving a two-step equation, your goal is to isolate the variable. So we do have to do two things if it's a two-step equation. Step 1, eliminate any constants. So we're going to get rid of what is farthest away or not touching the variable first. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. Then I get n over 8 equals 1. I'm going to multiply by 8 because I see my variable being divided by 8, and I get n equals 8. Number 2, we split our equation. Same thing. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And then I get n over 2 equals 0. I'm going to multiply by 2, n equals 0. So you're doing the same thing. If you ever see parentheses, this is something new. It's an opportunity to get ahead. I have to multiply what's outside the parentheses by each term inside. We did this in 6th grade. This is called the distributive property. So 2 times negative 2 is a negative 4. 2 times n is 2n equals 0. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. 2n equals 4. Divide by 2, n equals 2. Now, when you see decimals, you're not going to skip them. You can do it. Decimals are not that bad, even without a calculator. So for this one, I'm going to add 0 and 8/10 to both sides. I'm left with m over 5 equals, okay, so this is, I owe 20 cents, I have 80 cents. Pay back my friend, I have 60 cents. And then I'm just going to multiply by 5 on both sides. So 5 times 6 is 30. I move over the decimal once and I get 3. So once again, I multiply by 5 like this. 5 times 0 is 0 plus 3 is 3. There was one number behind the decimal, so I moved the decimal in once. M equals 3. So after you get all this good equation practice, you're doing something you started doing yesterday. So guys, it's super important. Name the set or sets. So we have our real number system. We have our rational and irrational. A subset of rational is integer. A subset of integer is whole. So for example, if it's a whole number, it's also an integer, it's also rational, it's also real. So looking at the number 7, right? Number 7, oh, that's whole. It's positive, so I would say whole. I would say it's also an integer. It's also rational. Going back up to number 11, so that's a square root. So we have to find the square root of the numerator and the denominator. The square root of 368 is a crazy, crazy, crazy decimal. So if I have a crazy decimal, I know that this is going to be irrational. After you do that, you're going to end with something you're really good at, which is integers. So thinking about class yesterday, if you had me yesterday, we were doing geometry, but we still had to think about our integers. So it's so important that you practice these. These are never going to go away. Until 12th grade, you're still going to need to know integers. Looking at number 18, minus a negative becomes a plus. Whenever you see minus a negative, it becomes a plus. Negative 1 plus 2 is a positive 1. Okay, so please try your hardest on this. I hope you end strong. And if I haven't seen you yet today, see you very soon for your map test. Can't wait to see how you do. Ta-ta!